Samatma, thank you. Sip Samatma, Sip Chotwani, Sip Girish, Sip Hitkariji, Sip Tina, Sip Vanita, Sip Pankaj, Sip Yogini, Sip Rekha, Sip Tukeshni, Sip Deepa, Sip Sagai, Sip Bliss, Sip Sanjay, Sip Ace, Sip Krishna, Sip Swami, Sip iPhone, Sip Sudeep, Sip Sarla, Sip Raju, Sip Krishan, Sip Bliko, and many of you who are still joining the call. I welcome you to the call. And I ask you a very important question. How can we live in the present moment? Is it important? Is it a spiritual subject? Do we need to live in the present moment? Why should we live in the present moment? How can we live in the present moment? So this is a subject of discussion. And if some of you don't know why, you can ask. Many of you should by now realize the importance of being in the moment. And if you're not in the moment, then where are you? So this is what coming out of today. Very enlightened person was telling me the answers just a few minutes back. So I was contemplating. Let us start. Who would like to make the first attempt? How can we live in the present moment? Krishna. Yes.
Yes, sir. Good, Shivoham.
Sure.
This is from the calls. This is the understanding from the calls. How to live in the present moment. You have told us, you have taught us to live moment by moment, because only the mind takes you to the yesterday or tomorrow. So we
Correct.
live absolutely in the now only, but we don't realize it.
How to live?
You said
Are you
moment
not?
by moment, moment by
Are you
moment.
always? Are you living in the now all the time?
I'm not. I'm not.
How to live?
I'm not, because I'm in the mind state. But yes, sir, जब भी now में live करता है, for example, now I'm talking to you, I'm absolutely in the now. There's no past, no future.
And
But
after Zoom call?
yes. So this is a question which often lingers in my mind, because are we able to make any conversation without taking anything from the past? We are many a times not able to.
See, so how beautiful it is, Krishna, what you said. When we are in this Zoom call, we are all in the present moment.
Right.
Some people are not. If you look at some of the cameras, you will see some people are completely. You must be seeing the people on the camera or not. Some people.
I can see only one view. Only you, sir. I put in the speaker view.
Okay, good. So sometimes some people, they switch off the camera when they are not in the present moment, when they are being distracted. But if I see, for example, if Hitkariji comes on the call, Hitkariji is completely focused. He's a chartered accountant, and if my memory is not wrong, so completely in the present moment. Nobody will tell him, nobody will come and disturb him even 1 second when he's on the call. So I also give some examples. Sometimes Samatma will have a cat coming and jumping on. Sometimes, though she's in the present moment, but I'm right, Samatma, sometimes I see your cat in the call. So what happens is, nothing wrong in that if you're living in that consciousness, nothing. But today we are trying to
So
get.
you have explained to us live moment by moment, but actually I'm not very clear on that moment by moment. And you said when you accept, yeah, when you accept without any protest, actually you are living in the now. But मुझे एक doubt हमेशा लगता है कि in all our conversations we take our yesterdays.
No, that's all the time we are thinking about yesterday and we are thinking about tomorrow. We are not living in the now at all. If you live in the now, there is complete bliss.
But आपने एक बार very beautifully you told us this is also your imagination. सच्चाई में reality में you can live only in the now. और श्वासें तो now ही है. आपने एक बार बोला था.
और कुछ है क्या? नहीं. जब नहीं है, imagine जब और कुछ नहीं है, and we are living in that और कुछ जो नहीं है, then what does it mean?
Yeah, fools.
Okay, Krishna. Premchand ji, बताइए क्या आपका क्या है आज टिप्पणी? Good, Krishna. Thank you for a good start. But today, at the end of the call, we will get some learning will come as to how to live in the present moment. it's a big challenge, and I don't even know how we are going to explain this, but it will come before the end of the call. And we will learn today. We will learn how to live in the present moment. And it's the most beautiful thing you can do. So what do I tell people? Make that vow to live in the now. Huh? Be happy in the now. We have a book called Be Happy in the Now. But you have to make a vow. You have to take a vow. You have to make a vow to be in the now and not wander like a cow. A cow, are you grazing like a cow? If you are grazing like a cow, you cannot be in the now. Who's grazing like a cow? The mind. The mind is like a cow. The cow will keep on grazing here and there and everywhere. Premchand ji, bataiye.
शिवम गुरुदेव,
Namaskar. Boliye.
follow the path of 10 commandments of detached attachment,
Arre wah.
plus avoiding misery of mind and agony of ego, and always think positive. That is the only way that you can you can live in.
Premchand, this is a long, you're giving long explanation, but simple. Abhi, to live in the now, how do you live in the now? Tell me simply, na.
Simple
Simple
तो
word में
यही
बताइए.
simple ये है कि मतलब you avoid misery of mind and you will be happy.
How? वो माइंड नहीं जाता है.
वो शिवो फिर दो चीज याद रखो ना दिन भर. I am safe and शिवोहम. I am safe and शिवोहम. I am safe and शिवोहम.
Premchand ji पहुंचा हुआ है. Premchand ji full time only in this. To be at 83, to be in this consciousness is not easy. Very good, Premchand ji. So we need to learn. We need to learn this art. Premchand ji, कुछ तो आज सीखने को मिलेगा. Okay, so just observe what you say is correct. लेकिन I always give you all very simple answers. My speciality is I don't like to give complicated answer. बहुत simple.
Is my answer is a complicated?
थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मतलब आप बोलते हैं माइंड को गुम करो, ईगो को गुम करो, तभी नौ में जाए. अरे माइंड
नहीं तो फिर उसको कहीं ना कहीं तो मतलब when you have to bring the mind to monk state, just to live, if you want to live in how to live in the present stage, that is the only way that you have to keep that mind either with Shiv or Shivoham.
One who has conquered the mind is a greater conqueror than the world conqueror.
It's consciousness.
हाँ, जो बट कैसे conquer करे? यही तो सबसे दुनिया का सबसे मुश्किल काम है.
काउंटर का तो यही है कि भगवान का हम लोग जैसे मतलब always lose.
If you are in consciousness, then you've already conquered. You don't have to conquer.
That I am Shiv and Shivoham.
अगर इस शिव आई एम सिप का कॉन्शियसनेस होगा, अगर हम हमेशा यही कॉन्शियसनेस में है कि आई एम सिप, ठीक है,
yes, sir.
तो फिर माइंड और ईगो है ही नहीं ना, उसको कॉन्कर
करने की जरूरत नहीं. So long we do not attain enlightenment, the mind goes there. That whenever mind goes there, you bring it back to cut down. It is all these cuts and bring back to Shivoham. I am safe.
But today we are going to get a very simple answer. Let me see if any master gives us the answer. Thank you, Premchand ji. Aham Sip and Girish.
Shivoham Guruji and everyone else on the call.
Yes.
Guruji, we can live in now just by stopping regretting the past and worrying about the future. Yeah. And also realizing that it's the only this moment we have. We are not sure about next moment, whether we will be there or not. Good. And how to do it is just by flipping our mind to consciousness whenever we slip down. And by heart, we have to realize that overcome mantra, we have to master that mantra so that mind can be controlled.
Yeah, what you say is all 100% correct. But the problem is this, that none of us are able to do it.
वो तो मैं I am to just slip down पिछले 10-15 दिन से I am totally in mind state.
तो फिर how much misery it creates?
It's
how much
very, I
creates?
know, it's very, I'm just drowned in sansaric karmas at this moment.
When you know that it's a Leela, it's a Maya, you have any doubt about it? You know completely.
No, I don't have any doubt.
फिर भी आप helpless है. You are so helpless.
Yes.
How to get over this helplessness. See, this I'll tell you what we have to learn. I'll tell you, we all have got the recipe.
Yes.
Our problem is we are unable to execute this recipe. ऐसे नहीं कि हमें पता नहीं क्या करना है, सबको पता है, सब जिसको जो भी इन कॉल पे हैं, सब पता है, सबको पता है. Everybody knows what we have to do, but people in this call are struggling, and it's part of that struggle that will take us there. So there's nothing wrong. Don't think it's wrong to struggle, but ultimately, like the caterpillar struggling, it becomes free, and it flies like a butterfly. That's what I told you a few days back. The important word, I don't know what was the question, who remembers? We need a metamorphosis. End of the call, I told you the word is metamorphosis. When there's a metamorphosis, you know how to live in the present moment. Till the metamorphosis is not there, you're jumping to yesterday, ye kya hua, isne aisa kyun kiya? Then you're jumping to tomorrow, ye kal kya hoga? Huh? कल में ना जीना, हमें पल में जीना है. ना वो कल जो गुजर गया, ना वो कल जो आना है. पल में जीना, पल में खुशी है, पल आनंदा, पल में शांति है. Are we able to do it? We are not able to do it because we are so caught in thought. We are so miserable in things which are undesirable. We are miserable in those things which are undesirable, but we continue to be miserable. It is very sad. That's why this call will help us. Thank you, Girish. Let me see, Master, what is the solution Master has? Master Girish, how can we live in the present moment?
Realize that we can live only in the present moment. Only our mind can go to the past or to the future. When we live in the present moment only. It is choiceless.
Then why do we go to past? Why do we
Only
not
mind
live-
goes. Only mind goes.
When
Living
the
will
mind
not go.
goes, when the mind goes, then are we living in the present moment?
Yes,
How?
we can live only in the present moment.
Correct. But the mind takes
The
the
question
mind.
is, when we go to past or future, we are pushing ourselves into misery and tension. That
But
is
we
a
are-
different aspect. But living will not shift to tomorrow or yesterday or
So
past
take-
moment or
So
future
take,
moment.
so take your answer is very good. Answer is perfect. But are you living in present moment all the time?
Yes, but mind goes here and there.
So
That
when
takes away our consciousness.
when the mind goes, it goes alone, or like a ghoda gadi, it pulls you also.
No, I will not be pulled. But for a moment, it looks as if I am pulled. When
Huh.
I come back, even
You are there only.
yes.
But whenever having sometimes the mind pulls us and then we don't realize, then pulls us and then pulls us and then pulls us and pulls us, and we are talking some nonsense to somebody and we are on some rubbish telephone call and somebody is making us angry.
Yes,
Happens or
there,
no?
then we will have to shift from mind to consciousness.
So this is the biggest challenge. The challenge is that what Girish said, there's no other option but to live in the present moment. But how can we live in the present moment? That answer we need. It's like, how do I explain to you? Okay, suppose somebody is pulling me. Suppose somebody is pulling me. But I tie myself to a steel pillar. Can they pull me? They can't pull me. How much ever they try, they can't pull me because I am tied myself to a steel pillar. Now, if I don't tie to a steel pillar, if I'm tying myself just to a rope, then what happens? Let me give you, Girish, before we go on to Bala. Let's take an example of tug of war. Have you seen tug of war? Two teams are there. One team is pulling, whoa, whoa, whoa. And in one team, in the back of the team, they have a big Motu. That Motu fellow, we are tied in his stomach, they have tied the rope there. Nothing. You pull how much ever you want to pull, that Motu fellow is standing like that only. Have you seen tug of war? Have you seen or not? Now, if you don't have that Motu fellow standing, you have some thin lakadi type of fellow standing in the end, then what happens, Girish? Then you are pulled. Life is a tug of war. And in the present moment, what you are saying, while there is no option.
Yes, so as to prevent mind from appearing, we can be in truth consciousness.
How to be in now? How can you be in truth consciousness to live in the present moment?
By silencing the mind, if it appears, or when the thoughts arrive, if we feel that it is going to become in the mind, catch it, crop it, chop it and drop it.
Girish knows the full vocabulary. It looks like he has a library in front of him. No, very good. Girish, all your answers are 100% correct. I want you to think as others are giving answer, go one step further. So what you said, Girish said 100% right. What did Girish say? We don't have any option. We can only live in the present moment. Can anybody live yesterday? 29th October is gone. Today is 30th. Am I right? Today is 30th. I don't check the date properly. Today is 30th October. Can anybody go till 31st October now? You can't. You can only go to 31st October when the clock strikes 31st October, when it becomes 12 o'clock, when the clock time shows you it has become 31st October, then only you can go. If it becomes 31st October, can you go back to 30th October? Cannot go back to 30th October. But mind takes you. Mind takes you and tells you, this fellow on 30th October, this fellow rascal ruined my life. Don't you feel? This rascal ruined my life. How often we are troubled and we are thinking about the past. How often we are miserable. Oh, I myself am telling you, I am pulled. But the challenge is, I don't go. Because I have become a master. If they pull me also, and I'm back. But the question is, how can you be back? How can you come back into the present moment? Because you are pulled from the present moment, you are pulled into the past or the future, and you become miserable. So Girish says, okay, you live in truth consciousness. How to live in the truth consciousness?
The ultimate method is only realization.
Then what happens when the realization happens? Then what happens?
Then automatically the mind will, what we say, will be in parallel to the present moment.
No, there will be no
Sync
mind.
with the present moment.
There will be no mind at all.
Even if mind comes, you can come back immediately.
So today, one of my masters, she gave me an analysis today. One master, she told me that it's like a tap. It's like a tap. So if you open the tap, the mind will come like this. And if you close the tap, still after closing the tap, also one drop water comes. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Those are like, mind is not coming. They are like thoughts coming in your consciousness. Huh? So I also have several masters who keep teaching me things. Every time they teach me. So this is how, when the thought comes, the mind is not coming. In the present moment, you may be in the present moment, but when tick. You know the analogy as I'm talking, the tap, you close the tap. You know, many taps after you close, still it will come. Tick. Some taps are good. Their tick won't come. That is complete consciousness. Then there is no thought. But let us see.
Another point, locking the mind with consciousness is also relevant here.
Good. When you lock the mind with the intellect in a state of consciousness, you build a dam. When you build a dam, let there be any kind of push. Nothing will matter. But today, Girish, we have to learn how to live in the present moment.
By not going to yesterday or tomorrow, automatically you are in the present.
Bala. But
by not living in the past or in the future.
But
You
we
are in the
go, na.
present.
The problem is, but we go, na. Constantly we are slaves of the mind.
But
going
how to
yesterday.
live in the present moment? By not going.
What you say is theoretically perfect. Bala, we are not yet come to the end of the call. Bala, where are we? क्या आपको क्या बोलना है बालाजी?
प्रणाम गुरुजी.
प्रणाम, बोलो बाला.
नेति नेति तत्वमसि. Not this, not I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm that. Okay?
I am not this, not this, I am that.
That means I am that energy, I am that soul. Okay? I am that sip. Then using your organs, 5 organs जो है उसका बहुत विवेकपूर्ण वापर करना. मतलब जहाँ पे जरूरत नहीं है वहां पे उसको जबरदस्ती लेके नहीं जाना. जहाँ पे तो वो हो गया. जो मेरे मन में खटक रही है बात उसको आमने सामने बैठ के उसको क्लियर कट करना. From that day I have stopped clinging people. जो बात मेरे मन को दुख देती है, मुझे अच्छी नहीं लगती है, I have started giving importance to myself.
भाड़ में जाओ, उसको बोलते हैं भाड़ में जाओ, भाड़ में जाओ.
नहीं गुरुजी, I have to be selfish for my realization. I have to be selfish. और मुझे अच्छा लगता है ना अंदर से. I feel better. That is more important. And love yourself like anything.
See, what you are saying is very good, but it's a very lengthy process. Bala, today we are trying to understand. Please try to see how can we. I'm trying to myself get the perfect answer. I always wait for SIP to give me the perfect answer. How can we live in the present moment? Girish gave a beautiful answer. Girish's answer was actually in my consciousness till he took away the answer. Now I don't know what is the next answer. So what answer he gave, there is no other option. You cannot live anywhere else except in the present moment. There is nothing. But the problem is what Girish says technically, theoretically is correct. But we are not living in the present moment. Tug of war. मैं फंसा, मैं खुद में फंसा, तू बचा, तू आके बचा. We are caught. मैं तो ये तन मन्ना हूं ना मैं अहंकार. सच में तो मैं जानू मैं आत्मा और कुछ ना. एहसास हुआ फिर भी फंसा. गिरीश, एक युद्ध मेरे अंदर लड़ता मैं हमेशा. Constant war. मैं फंसा, मैं खुद में फंसा. This means in English, there is a war inside me. There's a war. There's a war inside me. There's a war. There's a yuddh. This yuddh is between today, pal or kal. What is the yuddh? Pal or kal. Pal is the moment. Kal is yesterday and tomorrow.
But Guruji, I am saying only techniques, Guruji. मतलब ये use करके हम लोग.
सही है. नहीं, what I am trying to give you, आज के बाद पल में कैसे जीना?
Yesterday I listened to your story, Guruji. I thought you have nothing in your, what we say, घरदार सब छोड़ दिया है आपने सब कुछ. But yesterday after listening, I was shocked, Guruji, how one can smile so much. आपका चेहरा, I am not joking, Guruji. Whenever I close my eyes, I see your face, smiling face, भजन गाते हो. You always, मतलब कभी down होते ही नहीं हो, and you are always ready to, what we say, and your mind नहीं, आप consciousness is always ready to help others.
कल क्या मालूम पड़ा?
I forgot what. I don't want to repeat those.
Okay, but Vanita, Bala has got many techniques. Bala is becoming next Girish. She will give full Girish, who may be giving coaching. Come on, Vanita.
So most of the answers have come from Girish. I'm only adding to that. Like, we are always living in the present. When we are not living in the present, the moment this is gone. Now next is a present only we are living. So I think don't bother about the past which is gone. It's not going to help me anyway in my spiritual path. So just put a stop to the past this thing. And future, we are not sure what is in store for us. Then why do we worry about the future? So my only thing is focus on the present moment. to realize and contemplate who you are and why you are here and what's the purpose of life. And you will
so
say
how to
you
live?
don't think
So
about
what's
the
your
past.
answer? What's your
No.
answer? What's your answer? How can we live in the present moment?
You always contemplate if your goal is towards enlightenment.
How to live in the present moment? We are pulled. Are you not pulled to yesterday and tomorrow? You're pulled or not?
No, I don't think I'm getting disturbed because of that. Maybe one or few seconds I may go back to past, but it doesn't disturb me. There is nothing to remember also. Nothing
Okay.
is
So
nothing
good.
has-
So some of you
The-
who are very deeply into this are quite free and quite liberated. But let us see. Thank you, Rajender, and then those who have not come for the first line: Sukeshni, Bliko, Will, Krishan. Chalo, Rajender, and then Aham Sip is second round, I think. Rajender.
Sure, sir.
Sir.
Sir, I think we live in present only, but the mind takes us to the past. So for that, to live in present, we have to remove the mind. And to remove the mind, we have to be in consciousness. Now,
Very good.
we have to be in consciousness, and how to be in consciousness permanently or for the maximum time, we have to make a sort of fusion of intellect and consciousness, sort of fusion, what we call what? Fusion of consciousness into intellect. How that can be done? I think what I am doing while working, normal work. So while working, I am keeping on observing my internal thoughts also, so that mind doesn't come and disturb me. When I keep observing the thoughts, the thought rates gets less. So I'm able to live in present moment. I think for the 90% of the time of the day, I remain in the present moment. वो कभी कभी हो जाता है दाएं बाएं, कभी वो मैडम आती है, कोई बोल देती है, थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है.
How beautifully Rajender explained. Don't you think very beautifully explained what Rajender said? But explain again. How did you explain again for the benefit for everybody? Explain again.
Sir, from my side, it's that I think that we are always live in present moment. It is only.
Girish told like that. There is no option but to live in the present moment. Rajendra also says we are always in the present moment. Aage badho.
But who is the criminal which takes us to the past moment? That is mind.
Correct. So who takes us away from the present moment? Only the mind.
Mind. So living in the consciousness means living in the present means to live in consciousness. Now,
but because when you live in consciousness,
you are in the present.
No, there is no mind.
Because there is no mind. Yes.
If there's no mind, if there's no mind,
no, you are in the consciousness. I mean to log the consciousness and this intellect. Because of intellect, you can be in the consciousness. Not without intellect, you cannot be. Because intellect.
How will you lock your consciousness with the intellect?
Yes.
How?
Yes. How I am doing. So I am in the work. Say I am doing some job. I am doing something. I keep on observing my mind as thoughts also. Because by observing the thoughts, the mental thought rate becomes less and less. This is the practical thing I am doing.
Okay. So I will tell you all the technique after everybody finishes. Sip just now sent the technique, but let me explain the technique to you. There's a technique. So you have to be in this technique. How to do in this technique. Thank you, Sukeshni. Sukeshni, Bliko, Will, Krishan. Chalo.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So I will give you the technique today, how to live in the present moment, okay? I'm going to give you a technique, yes.
We have to lock the mind with the help of intellect. We have to drop our desires also. And somewhere we need to build a strong connection with SIP so that anywhere we are getting into mind state, that is when we can flip into consciousness.
Beautiful. So this is the second, what she has given is the second method. Actually, there are two methods. So she has now stolen the second method. There's one method to live in, how to live in consciousness, and the second method. So she is telling, what did you say the last point?
I said we have to build our be strong, more strong in our faith in the divine.
She said we have to build a stronger connection with SIP. This is what the words you said. So how do you do that? So this is method number 2. So there are two methods to live in the present moment. And living in the present moment is the ultimate. If you can live in the present moment, you are the king of kings. Thank you, Sukeshini. Bliko.
Thank you.
Bliko will Krishan. Then air. Or then Chidanand. Then air. Yes.
Shivoham, everybody. So the method is my name, like Bliko. I have to live in consciousness, but how? So that is a question actually. How to live in consciousness? Because the mind is always coming in between, right?
Correct.
And it stills your consciousness, and it go back and clouded your intellect. Main thing is the cloud of intellect has to be removed.
Correct.
The one method what she said right now, that is strong connection with the sip, and your lip, your sip should be on your lip.
Correct.
So nothing comes out or comes in.
Correct.
And it will always remain your intellect active in the light of consciousness, because the light of consciousness is on mind also, but mind we don't find. So actually the thoughts are very important. When you are in consciousness, the thought will reduce, and if the thoughts are coming one by one, you can easily observe and you can eliminate, and you can use your intellect very effectively and be in consciousness all the time.
How?
That is the lips. Their sips should be on your lip. You should
So
remember.
yours method number 2. Good. So there are two methods. How to live in the present moment. If sip is on your lip, you cannot slip. If sip is on your lip, you cannot slip. It is only when you are clinging in the wrong grip. When you're clinging in the wrong grip, then you lose sip. Sip will slip because of your grip. But if sip is on your lip, you will never lose your grip and you will never slip. Can you have sip on your lip all the time? This is the challenge. And this is called what? Method number 2. Method number 2 is called yoga. Sukeshini and Bliko. This is method number 2. If yogi jo yog mein sada hi rahe prabhu ke. If you are in dhyana yoga and bhakti yoga and karma yoga and jnana yoga and prema yoga, if you are constantly in a state of yoga, then you are united. Where is the question? If you are united with Shiv, where can you go to yesterday and tomorrow? Girish, right or wrong? If you're a yogi, then you will not go. But the problem is we are not able to be a yogi. So Bliko, Bharat says Bharat living in consciousness. And the second point, how to live in consciousness. That is not yet, answer is not yet come. How to live in consciousness? Will Krishan Chidanand. Will.
Shivam Guruji, thank you for this call.
Yes.
You mentioned this interesting simile of being tied to a very strong post. And this exact simile also was used by the Buddha. And he said that the post is equivalent to the body. And the reason is that the mind, as Girisha said, goes to the past and the future, but the body is always in the present moment. So if you're mindful of the present moment, then you're tied to the post.
Very good. But problem is, we are not able to do that because the mind is pulling us forward and backward, correct?
Yes.
So how do we stop that mind?
Yes.
Does the Buddha talk a lot about consciousness, or he does not talk much about consciousness? He talks about awareness or mindfulness.
He puts everything into what he calls the Eightfold Path. He says many factors, so it's not like a one answer. So this.
No, but mindfulness. But he talks of mindfulness. Mindfulness is nothing but consciousness. I don't know the word in Pali. I don't know what is the word he uses.
They use this word sati. That's mindfulness. That's the word they use. They also use this word samadhi, which is all for any
samadhi.
Any
Samadhi
action.
is the right word.
Need, for samadhi, then your mind is stable and still. For samadhi, you need what they call sila. It all connects up, is what I'm saying. Everything connected. It comes down to good ethical behavior. Then you have good samadhi. So then samadhi, your sati, your mindfulness is good. It all kind of connects up. There's not like one quick solution, but it's all together.
Linked. So good. So today our challenge, Will, is this: a simple method. What we are saying, and of course, he doesn't. The Buddha never spoke about yoga. I don't think there's no union with the divine, because he took that away. He said, because there's so much misinterpretation of the word God, he never spoke of the word God. He stopped. He was one person who that's why it was not supposed to be a religion as such. It was supposed to be more a philosophy or a theology or a way of life. Buddha's teachings: right living, eightfold path, middle path. But obviously, it's just because he didn't talk of it doesn't mean it didn't exist. So today, very important what we are talking about, whether you want to be in mindfulness or you want to be in samadhi, how can we be? So one way is when we are not in bhoga. Bhoga means we are not in this material world. Then we are in yoga. So it's just like I taught you all day and night. When the sun is shining, there can be no night. And when it's dark in the night, then sun is not shining. So either there is in our life, there is yoga or there is bhoga. If we live in yoga, constant yoga, then we are in the present moment. The yogi doesn't know yesterday and tomorrow. The yogi lives in the present moment. And the second method, what we are all trying to get, how do you live in? Bharat said living in consciousness. Girish said there's no other way but to live in the present moment. But everybody uses the word but. But the mind, the mind will take care of that. So, Will, anything more you would like to add?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Krishan and Chidanand. Then I will give you the first method, which is very important. I will tell you all the first method, how to do it. Krishan and Chidanand.
शिवम गुरुजी
Sir.
एक बार एक साधु अपनी झोपड़ी में बैठ के कुछ लिख रहा था, उसने साथ में दिया जला रखा था। थोड़ी देर बाद में जब उसका काम हो गया, उसने दिया को बुझाया तो उसने देखा कि ऊपर से मून की इतनी लाइट आ रही है जितनी दिए की नहीं थी। ठीक है, और वो पूरा कमरा मून की लाइट से भर गया। सेम चीज हमारे साथ में, हमने अपने अंदर जो मन को पाल रखा ना, वो हमारे को कॉस्मिक एनर्जी की पावर को फील नहीं करने दे रहा। हम लोग उस दिए में नेगेटिव थॉट की तरह अपने माइंड को वो मटेरियल देते रहते हैं और वो बड़ा होता रहता है। अगर हम प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में रहेंगे, अवेयरनेस के साथ में रहेंगे, योगा में रहेंगे, भोग से दूर रहेंगे, तो वी कैन एटलीस्ट स्टिल आवर माइंड।
How will you do it? How will you do it? How will you be? The challenge what we have reached is how to live in that state of consciousness where you are in the present moment.
To be in consciousness, I have to be always in yoga stage. I have to be avoid bhoga. I have to be avoid bhoga, and I have to be treated.
Method number 2. That is method number 2. It is a good method, but it's not easy, because to be always in yoga is not easy. We slip into bhoga.
That's the mind role. So if I want to, for me, I use your coin, mind to consciousness, which is bring me in present moment.
Okay, good. But there is one more way which will always let you be in the present moment. What is that? Chidanand, I would like to give you the answer. If Chidanand finishes, then I will give you what I believe is the way. Chidanand.
Guruji. Yeah, the only answer is absolute surrender, because if you understand what even Dada was saying, तुम ही सब कुछ जानत प्रीतम तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो, सुख में तुम ही प्रीतम तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो. The moment you are in the state of surrender, there is no past, there is no future. You are absolutely in yoga.
The question: how do you reach that state of complete surrender?
By chopping, cropping, dropping your mind. Because
but how do you reach? How do you reach that state of nirvana? The present moment. How do you reach
in the present moment? Whatever you see samsara is not samsara. It is nirvana only. You understand tat niti niti tattvamasi to its core.
So Chidanand, is it not true that we are in that moment of anand, and then somebody steals that anand for few moments? Somebody comes into our office, somebody comes and robs our peace for momentarily.
No, I understand what you're saying. For the last 1.5 years, it's not possible, because once you get the grip of Prema Yoga, whoever comes, maybe in the past you may treat him as your wildest enemy, but you naturally look at him as the soul within him, and that gets dropped actually. When you live in full surrender, everything gets, you are in the present moment.
If you are, what Chidanand says, if you can live in that state of complete surrender, then there's nothing. Then you're not worried. Today, I would just tell you an example where I lost my consciousness. For how long? For 1 minute. I was sitting in this office. I was sitting in this office and I was having a meeting with my 10 board members. I was sitting in this office and having a meeting with 10 board members. Just next to my office, next door, there's a big fire. The big fire next to my next door. This reminds us of Raja Janak's story, right? So that smoke, thick black smoke is coming to my terrace, coming to where I am, burning, smell, smoke, fire. What can I do? Just sit like that only, like Raja Janak. What to do? Sit like Raja Janak.
You have to follow ABCD.
So what did I do?
There's no.
I called 4 people. This is also what actually Raja Janak did, but it's wrongly interpreted. What I did, I called one person. I told them, go to the fire source. I called second person. I said, go up to the tower, which is connected to the next building. I called a third person. I said, go and see whether the fire brigade is coming. I gave instruction to 4 people. I went and sat a hot idli and chutney, and I tried with new noodle soup, and I continued my meeting. The fire, the big fire, not a small fire. The whole building was on fire. How did I do that? How to live in the present moment? It's called, the only way for you to have Anand, it's called Sat Chit. The only way to be in Samadhi, Will was talking about Samadhi, the only way to be in that state of consciousness, Bliko living in consciousness, there is only one way. What is that way? It is called Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta. You keep on getting conscious of the truth. What was the truth? I said, if the fire is there, fire is there. Fire was there, smell is there, smoke is there, flames. They send me pictures, the whole house is on fire. They send me a video, the whole house is on fire. I'm thinking now, I didn't even bother. I was so busy in the meeting, I was not bothered about the fire. It happened today for lunch. We had a board meeting. But if I was not having Sat Chit, I would have lost my Ananda. I would have cancelled the meeting. Because if there's a fire next to your next door, you always worry that fire will spread to your house or your office or your next door, and your building will be on fire. If the building is on fire, whole building is on fire. But when Sat Chit is there, so the method number 1 is Sat Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta, Satta Chitta. Become conscious of the truth. What is the consciousness of the truth? That if the fire is going to come, it is going to come. Have we done the best? We have done the best. We have put 4 people on the job to take care of the fire. Then in consciousness, we know nothing will happen. Surrender. And as a divine instrument, I was busy doing SIP work. I was living as a yogi. I was doing karma yoga. I was not doing something to gain something for myself.
Right force has guided you.
Huh?
Divine force has guided you.
So I'm saying it is not easy. Today only I'm saying, what was I worried? What was disturbing me? What was taking me from the present moment of that meeting? Okay, what if the next moment the fire comes into my building? That is the next moment. But what was in this moment? In this moment, there was no fire in my building. And I continued living in this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And this is Sat Chit Anand. Suppose as per karma, that fire was to spread to my building. Would it spread or would it not spread? It would spread. Nothing can stop. If it spread, would I still continue my meeting? No, I would not continue my meeting. If my building was on fire, I have to be a karma yogi. I have to get up and I have to do it. It does not. This is a wrong analogy. We think Dr. Raja Janak Raja Janak was not indifferent. Raja Janak issued instruction for all his commanders to put off the fire. Then he sat in consciousness. But people think Raja Janak was just one such a soul that he did not bother about the palace being on fire. No. If the palace is on fire, we should not worry. We should not fear. We should not give instructions. We should put the people on their job. Then we come back to our consciousness. So how do we live in that moment? So the two methods, Sat Chit, the truth consciousness. Who told about the word? Somebody said, who did Girish told or who told? Living in truth consciousness. Somebody told, Rajendra also said beautifully. Today, Rajendra said it so beautifully. Many of you are. So my dear friends, before I close, what am I trying to help you? Live life moment by moment. Your moment has so much ananda. Your moment has so much nirvana. You are so worried what is going to happen tonight, what is going to happen tomorrow, by worrying about what is going to happen tonight and what is going to happen tomorrow, you have already lost the moment. And if you have lost the moment, you have lost life. Because life is made up of moments. Moments create days, days create months, months create years, years create life. If you have lost the moment, you have lost life. Don't lose the moment. All we have got is the moment. So fill the moment with Sattva Chitta. You cannot lock. Many of you said you want to lock my consciousness with intellect. How, Girish? How can you lock the consciousness with intellect? Only Sattva Chitta. Sattva Chitta. What does Sattva Chitta means? Sattva Chitta. I am nothing. Neti, neti, tattvamasi. Who told this? This is the Sattva Chitta. Sattva Chitta is what? I am nothing. Sattva Chitta is what? Sip is everything. Sattva Chitta is what? Everything is a Leela. Sattva Chitta is what? All Maya. If all this Sattva becomes embedded in your Chitta, you will be grounded in the present moment. You will move moment by moment, but move moment by moment by moment with Sattva Chitta as a yogi. Huh? So today's answer is Sattva Chitta Yogi. You have to live as a yogi in Sattva Chitta. If you are able to live as a yogi in Sattva Chitta, nobody can rob your moment. Because when Sattva Chitta, there is no mind. When Sattva is there, the intellect is command. When yogi is there, you are united with Sip. You cannot slip. That's why I told you there are two methods. Contemplate on the answer today. To live in the present moment, live with Sat Chit, truth consciousness, ever connected to the divine. And live with Sattva Chitta as a yogi. Don't go into bhoga. Live in yoga. Live in complete surrender. But you can live in complete surrender only when there is Sattva Chitta, Sattva Chitta, Sattva Chitta. Then you will say, Kesara, Sara, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Kesara, Sara. You have to be able to be in that peace. And luckily, I ended the discussion with a live example of today, whether the big fire next. The whole terrace became thick smoke. Thick smoke. For a moment, I moved out of the moment, right? For a moment. But that was as a yogi, as a karma yogi. I came back. So my dear friends, as we started, Girish told a very beautiful answer, but very, very, very good. There is nothing other than the moment. If you want to live also in yesterday and tomorrow, you can't. But the mind will take you there. And the mind will make you miserable. And if the mind takes you there and mind makes you miserable, then you have lost your Sat Chit Anand. You've lost your Nirvana. With this thought for you to contemplate, I bow down to you. See you tomorrow at 8.